So I've done a top 5 of front lines, flanks, and damage, and now we're gonna be doing the top 5 best supports in Paladins. Now I've done my research. I researched who are the absolute best supports right now, and I've also asked some pro players who they think are the best supports right now. I just want to say before the video starts, this is probably the hardest top 5 to make because most of the supports are actually really good. I feel like all of them are just really good in this meta. Anyways, number 5 in the list is gonna be Jenos. Yes, you heard that correctly. Jenos is actually in the top 5. Now, before you say in the comments like, oh my god, wait, Jenos? You put Jenos in the top 5? What the hell are you doing? Yes, even I am a little surprised that Jenos is here in this video, but when I asked some pro players, they actually said Jenos is pretty good. Now, we're not really very certain if Jenos is like the best support or anything like that, because he recently just got buffed, and that buff's actually making him really strong. I mean, I was recently playing ranked and there was a grandmaster playing Jenos, so you can tell Jenos is kind of like going up in the meta right now. His damage is pretty decent. It's not like the best damage ever, but it's pretty decent. His healing right now is pretty good. You can basically mark 5 people even though you don't see them in your sight. You can, even though they're like so far, even flankers you can heal, which is crazy. Especially with the right build, you can make him very strong. His void is pretty good to get some easy kills. Let's be honest, not a lot of people are buying resilience unless you're actually going for the grip talent. And then your escape is pretty decent. Escape, it's not like the best thing ever, but it's definitely pretty good. And his ultimate, I mean, come on, do I really need to explain his ultimate? His ultimate is just so fun to use and very strong if you know how to use it properly. Now his talent, I feel like there's only one good talent, which is obviously the Luminary. Unless you're going damage, then obviously you would go for this one. This one's very I would say, because they can easily buy resilience and this talent is very useless at that point. Definitely Luminary is the strongest talent for him. Now I put him in the 5th because I'm still not sure if he's that good. Maybe if a lot more pro players use him, then maybe I will put him a lot higher, but for now he's gonna be number 5. He can basically heal 5 people at once, even though they're not close to you. It's just crazy to think about. Number 4 in the list is gonna be Furia. Now I'm pretty sure they nerfed Furia. I think her cherish talent they nerfed it, but she's still gonna be very strong. Her damage is obviously pretty good. Even though you go support talent, your damage is still amazing. Your heals are pretty good, but in the late game you might struggle a little bit because of the cost rise, but early to mid game Furia is gonna be very strong, and even though it's the late game, your ultimate is very strong. Your Power Strike is very strong as well. Speaking of Power Strike, it deals so much damage and you can stun enemy with it. And her escape is pretty good, I would say. I feel like every time I try to escape with Furia, I manage to kill them for some reason because Furia just deals so much damage. And her ultimate, this might be a little biased, but I think her ultimate is one of, if not the best support ultimate out there, because you just cannot counter it. Furia's ultimate, you cannot counter it. For example, Maldamba ultimate, you can counter it with resilience. Sarah's ultimate, you can counter it with resilience. Pip's ultimate, you can counter with resilience. With Furia, not really. You can't really do anything about it. And if your team are very coordinated and they go ham every time you ult, then your ultimate is definitely gonna be very amazing. Her talents, I would say, are pretty good. A lot of people are saying Solar Blessing is her best talent currently, and I would actually agree with it. Cherish, it's still really good, but it did got nerfed a little bit. If we compare Cherish and Solar Blessing is definitely a lot better, but Cherish is still kind of viable, I would say. And obviously Exterminate you would go for if you're going damage. Overall, Furia is a very solid champion. She can do damage, she can heal, she can stun. She basically has everything. She's also not even that hard to use, so I actually recommend her if you're new to Paladins. Number 3 in the list is gonna be Maldamba. I feel like Damba is always gonna be a good support as long as you know how to use it though, because I would definitely say Damba is probably one of, if not the hardest support to use. You need to put some time on this guy so you can actually use him properly. He has a good healing, he has good CC. I would say his damage is pretty good if you know how to use Maldamba. If you can also land your shots, if you can land your stun with Maldamba, it's pretty good damage. And then he has his Mending Spirit ability, which like you kind of like mark them and you heal them over time. And yes, you can miss with this ability. It's not like Jenos mark, you know, it's not that easy with this ability. His Gourd ability, which is his healing ability, I really love this ability because it's healing your teammates and at the same time doing damage to the enemy. So you can literally throw it on the point and it's healing your tank and it's damaging their tanks. And his escape, I actually like his escape a lot. It's just very fun to use and I feel like I can just reposition really easily with his escape. And his ultimate is a big CC. You're basically fearing everyone with your ultimate. His talents are not bad, I would say. I feel like you can actually use any of this. I personally like Spirit Chosen though. I feel like this is the best talent for him. This one is really good for healing, but you're gonna lack some damage, which is kind of meh. It's like alright. If you want to focus on healing, I guess you would go for that that one, but I would still recommend Spirit Chosen. And Recono Wrath, obviously you would use this if you're gonna go damage. And personally, that talent is actually very fun because damage Damba is just very fun. Overall, Damba is a pretty solid champion. He basically has everything: a decent damage, a good CC, good healing. He's like a very well-rounded support. So if you want to have all of those, Maldamba is pretty good. You definitely need to put some time on him though, because he's quite hard to use. Even I don't know how to use him properly, so good luck to you. You're gonna need some time to learn this guy. And number 2 in the list is gonna be Grover. Same in Maldamba. I feel like Grover has been really good. I feel like he's always been in the top 5 best supports. He's just always gonna be really strong. The way you can just heal basically every time, as long as they're around you, you will always heal them. And his heals are AoE, so it's pretty good. Like literally everything about him is just heals and damage. Your damage is pretty good, I would say. As long as they're kind of far from you, then you're gonna do a lot of damage. If they are close to you, then you're gonna tickle them. And then you can throw your axe to like cripple the enemy. And I'm pretty sure this deals like 400 damage, which is pretty good. You have Blossom, which is healing a lot more. You're already healing? Yeah, you're gonna heal a lot more with this ability. And then you have a Vine, which is your escape ability. I feel like every time I use Grover, I can just escape very easily. And then your ultimate, you're healing your teammates for 2,500 every 1 second. His healing output is just crazy. Obviously there's Cauterize, but that is just crazy amount of numbers. You can literally ult and then cancel it really fast. And then you're gonna have your ult like, I don't know, like 60% or something, because you cancel it right away. His stuns are pretty good as well, I would say. Probably not this one though. I kind of don't like this one unless you're going damage, but I've tried this talent before and it's okay. I don't like it personally. This one, on the other hand, is actually very good, especially if you're trying to catch your tanks, for example, if you're not close enough. I would definitely say this is probably his best talent. Deep Roots, it's his best talent before, but they changed it completely. I only used the new Deep Roots talent like maybe once or twice, so I don't really know how I feel about it yet. Overall, Grover is just a really good support. Dealing with a Grover early to mid game is gonna be a struggle. Late game, he might struggle a little bit, but he's still gonna be very strong though. His healing output is just crazy good. Now, before I say the number 1, I want to give some honorable mentions, and the first one is gonna be Ying. Now, the reason why I put her in the honorable mentions because I feel like she's only like a heal bot. She doesn't really do a lot of damage, but her healing is just very strong. I'm pretty sure they even buffed her to heal a lot more, which is crazy. I mean, she can do a lot of damage, but it kind of requires you to like hit all of your shots with her. But I would definitely say her escape is just superior. Her escape is just amazing, and I can safely say that because Ying has always been one of my favorite supports. Your heals are very good, your illusions are healing a lot as well, and then your ultimate, you're healing a lot more. And the crazy thing about her ultimate is that you can literally teleport to any of your allies every time you ult. It doesn't matter how far they are, as long as you look at them, you can teleport beside them, which is really strong. Now, I feel like there's only one good talent for her though, which is the Life Exchange. Focusing Lens is probably her best damage talent though. This one is just really good. Overall, Ying has a lot of mobility. Your damage is not the best, but it's not that bad. So overall, she deserves an honorable mention. The second honorable mention is gonna be Pip. Now, a lot of people would actually expect him to be in the top 5 because he's actually pretty good. The only issue with Pip, it kind of just depends on the player who's playing Pip. Think of it like an EV player. It's the same with Pip. Like, it's either gonna be a really bad Pip or a really good Pip. Sometimes there might be like a balanced Pip where they know what they're doing a little bit, but first of all, I'm pretty sure they buffed him, so he heals a lot more now. He also has good CC, and his escape is pretty strong, so he has good damage, good CC, and good healing. And his ultimate, it can get countered really easily with resilience, but if your teammates can just focus on one guy, they're still gonna die anyway. Now, I would definitely say, out of all these supports that I just mentioned, Pip's talents are probably the best talents. Like, all of these talents are actually not bad. Overall, Pip has everything. You have CC, good healing, good mobility as well, good damage as well. You definitely need to put some time on him though, because he's not that easy to use. And number 1 in the list, now you guys are probably expecting this, is gonna be Lillith. Now, Lillith has been dominating ranked. Every time I play ranked, she's getting banned or getting picked. And they already nerfed Lillith, so she's a little bit weaker, but she's still very strong and still the best support in my opinion. First of all, you're very hard to kill because you have like, I don't know, like 4,000 health or something. So you're basically like a tank support. Personally, I don't like her damage that much, the way she shoots. I personally don't like it, but it's pretty good. Her damage is not bad. You have a Mark ability, so this is good for your flankers. You have the Swarm ability, which is kind of like Maldamba. It's it's healing your teammates and also doing damage to the enemy. And then you have your escape, which is not the best escape, I would say. It's pretty decent. And then her ultimate is like a pure lifesteal. Cauterize doesn't work on her ultimate, so you can just heal so much with your ultimate. Her talents, I personally don't really like them that much. The only one that I really like is the Curse Accord. You're basically sacrificing some of your damage. You're gonna do 35% more healing and 15% reduced damage, which is, you know, it's not bad. If you're a support, it's not bad. Basically, she has everything besides CC. You have good damage, you have very good healing, and you have a very good survivability. Overall, she's just a very solid pick and still the best support in my opinion. So guys, do you guys agree with my top 5? Comment down below if you guys agree with me or not. This is probably the hardest top 5 I've ever made out of all the roles. This is the hardest, definitely. I feel like all supports are just very strong. It just depends on the player who's using them. So yeah, do not take this personally. Well, that's it for today guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it and I will see you guys next time. See ya.